But life's much more complicated than that, and that's why I was seeing the kind of Bill and Carl character are kind of, they love each other but they hate each other, and they can get on really well and they don't get on at all, and then they don't get on with the mother and they do get on with the mother. So it's very hard to pin down real people, real life, isn't it? And it's always a bit pat in drama when it does that. So that's kind of where that kind of choppy sense comes from.
The mother character is, I think, one of my favourite characters in the film, because there's a lot of the consequences, a lot of the actions that she's driven, but she doesn't ever really explicitly say, oh, do this and do that. There's just little niggles here and there.
No one does.
No.
I don't think so. Maybe Cole. No one says anything about anything. And the things that get you killed are such small, trivial moments. It's all about saying little things but that's how arguments work, isn't it? When you're in the middle of an argument with someone, or something happens ages ago, and or is this just me? And you just, and then later you bring it up, and it's such a tiny thing, and it's a look, and it's not. No, nothing's ever explicit in life, is it? It's never. You never have this moment where someone lays it down on the line, and they certainly never can do it eloquently, like they can in a drama, which is like, writers tend to boil it down into a kind of quite a tight little reason, and then they come back with their reasons, and then it's backwards and forwards with these reasons all the time, and it's like, people just don't talk like that. It's all a bit of a. I understand why people write it like that, because you've only got a certain amount of time, and maybe people won't understand it or follow it. But no, we're going down a different route, really.
Yeah.
Also, I'm a big fan of The Sopranos. That happens a lot in that as well. That's terrific. I mean, by the end of, did you watch The Sopranos?
Yeah.
I mean, by the end of that, you're watching Gandolfini, and he's just like, he goes, and someone's in real trouble. It's just him. It's just his face. It's just tiny movements of his face, and and that whole last series of it, it's just dread, just really trivial things all the time. Just totally dreading what's the consequences of a game of Monopoly are going to be, or whatever. So.
Yeah, I said right at the top of this interview that it's great you being a Brighton filmmaker and this film being shot in Brighton, but then it's also really great that we don't then get, and there's the pier and there's the...
Yeah, well that again was on purpose. There is scenes on the beach, but they're very late on. Actually, to tell you the truth, there was a cut which had a load of crashing waves at the beginning, and they were the first thing to go, because it was, it's as bad as the London bus or something, or starting it in Leicester Square if you're a London film. Being by the coast is very important as part of what makes up a Brightonian, I think. That you choose to live by the sea because you're smart. Why would you live anywhere else but by the sea? But no, there was no point in it. Brighton's never mentioned, and it shouldn't be really, because it's not about a specific town. It's a town somewhere. It's not that important where it is, I don't think. It's more about the kind of headspace that these people have found themselves in. It's more that they're kind of refugees from the 60s than where they are. I suppose that's a particular Brighton thing as well.
The film's doing the festivals right now, of which obviously we're one of many screenings. Given your background on the web, and also the fact that you're in this position of the film is yours, you haven't got finances to then go back and kind of deal with as to what happens with the film. What your plans are with the film, if you're again planning to go down, I suppose, a traditional kind of release thing, or if you're looking at online because of background in there, or kind of if you had any thoughts about that.
It's hard to say because it's in the middle of what's going on with it,
right.
But it's going all right. I mean, we're sorting the distribution out. I can't really say, and it's not all signed and done, but it's all sorted, Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, it's going to hopefully get a cinema release, probably quite a modest one, and then we'll see. I don't know. I mean, the thing that's exciting at the moment is this whole digital screening thing. I think that opens it right up. So it means that a print now doesn't cost $5,000; it costs £100, and that means a lot to a movie like ours. And that there's lots of digital projectors all over the country, so it's not going to cost or put us into such massive debt that we'd never crawl out of it, So yeah, that's good.
What's next for you? Is it too early to say, or have you got plans as to what your next project might be?
Yeah, I'm doing another series of Ideal next, so I'm looking forward to that. And then I don't know, it's tricky. I'm writing lots of different scripts, and I'm writing them at a kind of different budget ranges, basically. So I'm writing one for myself that I can knock off if I have to for the same money as down Terrace, so I can do this all again next year, because it's just been great. It's such a buzz making a film, and you know, getting it out there and following it about, getting in front of an audience and like making something that's yours, you know, is terrific. So I want to do that again, but there is an opportunity now, because it's done, Down Terrace has done quite well, is to get some money to make something else. So I'm writing other stuff that's like basically spread across different budget ranges from like, you know, 100 grand, 200 grand, $500,000. Still quite modest, but I don't think no one's going to just turn up with a big bag of cash to make anything I want to do. So it's kind of, you know, just should be going to be happy with just making stuff and getting it out there, really. So, but yeah, just making something in the new year, probably March or something like that, and then see. That was the weird thing with kind of, I talked to my agent ages ago and I went, oh, I'd like to do some drama, and he went, well, you can't, because you do comedy stuff, so you can't do any drama unless you make a short film. And I was like, oh, I can't be bothered to make a short film, because what's the point of a short film? I know that's heresy, but you know, it's as much effort to make a feature as it is to make a short film in my book. See, if you make a beautiful short film, it can cost you all the money in the world. But so yeah, so hopefully this will have opened up a bit of that as well. So, you know, I'm looking to do some TV drama, and because I'm a big fan of TV drama, and looking in the States as well. So I've got agents in the States and stuff. So it's kind of just spreading that out, and it just takes a long time to, anything that's got not your own money in takes forever to sort out. So we'll see, you know. But you know, it's in a good space, I think, all this stuff. And it's just interesting doing something that's long form, because it's a totally different skill from, you know, I think they're all very different skills, you know, from doing 30-second ads to doing 3-minute sketches to doing half-hour things, pacing and everything is totally different. So it's just not, you know, interesting working through those different forms.
Yeah, we're really, really pleased to have Down Terrace playing at CineCity, and I should point out that for anyone who wants to come along and see the film, and you most certainly should, it'll be playing at the Duke of York's Friday the 27th of November, a nice late screening of 11:15.
And our DOP Laurie Rose has made some badges.
Brilliant. Well, there is a reason definitely to come down and catch the film.
I was going to ask them as well if they'll let Bob play the guitar as well before we put the film on.
That'd be great. I'm sure that can be arranged. Brilliant. So look there, you've heard it yourself. You heard it there. Come down for badges and guitar and Down Terrace.
Yeah, I'm such a showman.
Brilliant. Ben, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
No worries. Well, pleased to be here.
Thanks for joining us here on the CineCity podcast. Visit www.cine-city.co.uk to view or download this year's full programme, book tickets and receive up-to-the-minute festival news. You can also subscribe to the podcast while you're there to make sure you never miss an episode. The CineCity podcast is created in association with Director's Notes, the weekly film podcast dedicated to the what, how and why of independent filmmaking. Find it at directorsnotes.com.